Hey everybody, Mike Chipperini here. Welcome to my YouTube channel and stand by for an update from Dometic. Hi everybody once again. So today, because I've been hearing a lot about Dometic water heater problems, I gave Dometic a call. And come to find out that a lot of the problems we've been experiencing with the thermal cutoff is being acknowledged by Dometic, and they're working on a solution. It turns out that what happened is this is a relatively new model water heater. If you look at the old water heater model, they had a little screen around the tube that supplies the propane. And that tube could, well, the screen could be adjusted and it would help keep the flame blue and not burning so much. And I believe it kept the heat down within that cabinet. And so what I theorize is that the newer models, which a lot of us have, anybody with a new Odyssey probably has a new model which has only been out for 12 to 18 months. Well, that does not have that screen on the tube. This photo here has a circle around where that hole is. And as you notice, there's no screen, and that screen was on the previous model, and it probably didn't cost much to keep it on. So at any rate, when I talked to the rep today, he stated that Dometic has acknowledged there is a problem, they're working on it. In the meantime, what I recommend you do is go ahead and go on Amazon and order a pair of thermal cutoffs. Now, just so you know, when my hot water heater kicked out on me, which was recently, and it was working fine, brand new rig, that I talked to Dometic, and the first thing they did is they thought it was a motherboard. So they sent me a new motherboard. And that's what this is. And you can see it in there, mounted on the right-hand side of your hot water heater. Well, the problem turned out to be this little doohickey, the thermal cutoff. There was no voltage going in and through. I would pick up on voltage on one end, but I wasn't getting on the other. So on a hunch, I ordered some off Amazon. They're only like 22 bucks for a pair. They're worth having. But try not to use your propane with your water heater until they fix this. That isn't to say you can't. If there's a nice breeze blowing, it'll probably siphon that hot air out of that compartment. But if there isn't, I believe that compartment can get pretty hot and trigger the thermal cutoff. So at any rate, that's a word from Dometic. They don't have a timeline on when it will be fixed, but they are in fact working on it. So, some of the things I wanted to talk about is, first off, I wanted to let you know who I am. Like I've said, my name's Mike Chipperini. I have Chipper's Island. This is out of my bar that I have in my house. This is Chipper's Island YouTube videos. And I grew up in Gloucester, Mass, born and raised here, and then I went in the Army. I did a couple years in the Army as an MP, got out, banged around a little bit, and then I went back into military intelligence. And I served out a career in the Army. So I got out in 1998, and by 1999, I was a firefighter here in my hometown. And I did that for 21 years, and I just recently retired last summer. Since I grew up in Gloucester, and to this time I've had a variety of jobs, whether it was just doing whatever as a kid, to working on the wharfs, unloading fish, to being a carpenter, being a plumber, being a landscaper, a lot of other different things, but that gives you the gist of it. And then the majority of my career was being a soldier, of which I got to see a lot of the world, and I traveled like crazy over in Europe, I might want to add. I did a lot of backpacking, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. I spent 7.5 straight years in Germany, and that, where I was in Germany, gave me a great jump-off point to Italy, to France, to Austria, Switzerland. It London was even not that far away. And I actually backpacked all the way to the Greek Isles where I camped out for a week on an island. And I just had a fabulous time. And I was bit by the travel bug well before I went to Germany. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get over there. Well, once I got back here, I've done some, typical road trips we all tend to do while raising kids, hitting Disney World, doing this, doing that. But we never really went far. We did take one trip back over to Europe. I wanted to show them my old haunts. And now I'm retired. So I went out and I bought this Integra Odyssey 24B. And I love it. It's a great, great rig. I don't have a name for it. I know for many people that's important. I think I'm just going to call it the rig. Just like the band was Bob Dylan's band and they just called themselves the band. So it's Chipper's Island, the rig. Or it might be Chipper's Island Adventures, and this will be the adventure. And the adventure was a schooner out of my hometown here in Gloucester. And so, at any rate, my YouTube channel, what I want to do with it is I want to share my adventures I have with this, with the rig, and I also want to share my knowledge, such as that Dometic hot water heater. And I just feel that there's a lot to see in these great United States of ours, and there's a lot to learn on these RVs. And and I'll tell you a couple little things that I've done, which if you've seen the videos, I one of the first things I did was I upgraded my steering stabilizer and I upgraded the front and rear sway bars. And that made a huge difference driving because I will confess to you, when I was driving down in Florida when I first picked this up, I was scared to death because it seemed like it was all over the place. Now, after I had those upgrades, I'm driving with one hand. Just that I like driving with my right hand at about the 5 o'clock position on the wheel. And I drove all through Ohio like that. Unless I was in a big city or something where it gets a little hairy in any type vehicle. But I was on 5 o'clock with one hand for the most part, and it handled great. The Once I got back, I had to do a couple minor repairs, and now I'm doing the minor upgrades that we all tend to do, like putting gutters on the or putting downspouts on the gutters by the awning and the slide roller, whatever we want to call that. I'll be doing that. I want to put some dimmers on board. I put a hand towel rack in the bathroom, and excuse me. Um, and I'm going to get Apple TV. I'm going to get Apple TV because that's going to be my streaming, and I'll probably use a hotspot. But I also would like to maybe do an inverter at some point because I think it makes life a little bit easier. And further down the road, I'll be getting some solar panels, I think. And my first thing I'll do as far as solar panels is upgrade the battery. I only have one battery right now because I did not want to buy a second one to match that. The one that they give you at the RV dealership leaves a lot to be desired, so don't expect much from it. Best bet, let them do what they give you, and then go out and buy a better set. Me, I plan to go AGM or lithium. I'm not sure what. I think I'm going to do AGM because I can get a pretty good price on it here locally. I don't have to have top of the line AGM. I just want to have, say, around 100 amp hours per battery. Get two batteries, now I'm up to 200 amp hours. I don't know what this thing that they give us has, but it's not a whole lot. So, but at any rate, so I'm thoroughly enjoying all of this. The other thing I plan to do is because I served in the Army and I served a long time, I have a lot of friends across the United States. So when I watch a video by, we'll say, Traveling Robert, who if you have not watched, you have to watch, He just does a great job of the scenery and visiting different areas, and he definitely does a bit of research on where he goes. So for me, because I have military friends, I thought it would be great to visit some of these Army friends who I haven't seen in literally years, and maybe videotape some of our adventures, or you know, meeting up with them. A little bit of that. I don't want to bore you with all of it, but I just thought it'd be a cool idea because some of them I am going to surprise, and others it'll be planned. Well, I'll have to call them in advance that I'm coming by. And this is something I can do all across America, literally all across America. And as a matter of fact, I'll be in, excuse me, oh, matter of fact, I'll be in Tucson, Arizona in October. I'll be in upstate New York. And when I say upstate, I'm not talking Syracuse. I'm talking way upstate, like Alexandria Bay on the Canadian border. I'll be up there, and I'm bringing the rig. As a matter of fact, I had a hotel reservation and I canceled it yesterday. So that'll happen around August. But so I do plan on traveling a lot, and I plan on uh, doing a lot of videos regarding that travel, regarding visiting my Army friends, and seeing this beautiful, great country of ours. And the next video I want to do is going over the entire 24B. I'll do like a 15-minute video where I go over all of it, show the cabinets really well, show the little things that a lot of us don't get to see in the videos that we research, and maybe just give a um, different take on the 24B review. And so with that, I think that's about it for now. I think that's a good amount of information. Listen, for all of you that are following me, I really appreciate it. Spread the word. For those of you who are watching this video for the first time or this channel, give a thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe, do all that good stuff, because the more you subscribe, the more my word gets out there, and the more we get to share. And if you haven't yet, on Facebook, there is a Facebook page totally dedicated to Odysseys, if Odyssey is your RV. But a lot of the stuff I'll be covering is relative or relevant to all RVs, whether it's a towable or a Class C and some of the Class A's. Because let's face it, that Dometic hot water heater is common in a lot of rigs, and now it's a problem in a lot of rigs if you're using propane. So, uh, thank you, everybody. Thank you for subscribing. All the best to all, and happy holidays.